Have you ever noticed that some people make hard work look as effortless as scrolling on Instagram? People making millions of dollars and still having time to work out, watch Netflix, and see friends. This is not a coincidence. There is a protocol that a smart subsection of peak performers follow to unlock insane performance that looks effortless, all without taking substances, having a genius IQ, or living like monks for years on end. The craziest part is that anyone can access this level of focus to work harder than 99% of people, getting more done in less time. It all comes back to one chemical in your body that is likely out of balance. It's called testosterone. And every high performer that makes hard work look effortless has a very high amount of this natural chemical circulating through their bloodstream. But 99% of men have lower levels than they should. And this leads to low energy levels, lack of focus, and lack of confidence. Which means that even doing the simplest and smallest tasks feels like you're trying to pick up the world on your shoulders. But if you change this one area of your life, your testosterone levels will skyrocket so that when you get out of bed, you feel sharp, energized, and excited to start working. It all starts with something that I like to call the 8-hour myth. You've all heard that we should sleep for 8 hours a night, right? Well, this is a myth. There is one little thing that directly controls your testosterone production. And I've helped over 100 entrepreneurs unlock insane performance and focus through increasing their testosterone. And this is one of the biggest problems holding them back. There is a phase of your sleep called REM sleep. It's the part of sleep when most of the dreams occur. It's responsible for anything related to your mental performance. So think about anything related to energy levels, focus, mental clarity, but also emotional balance and stress levels. The most important part of REM sleep is the testosterone production. It's during REM sleep that the biggest spike in testosterone production happens within the entire 24-hour cycle. But here's the problem. If you're in bed for 8 hours, like most people, you are not going to sleep for 8 hours because you also have time in which you're awake throughout the night, which is normal. For example, if you're in bed for 8 hours and your awake time is 40 minutes, which is something you can track with this means that you've only actually slept for a bit over 7 hours. And the craziest part is that because of the way REM sleep works, when you're chipping minutes or hours from the last half of your night, it mainly comes from REM sleep. So the main thing you need to do to fix that is to have a sleep window of 9 hours, which will allow you to make sure that you sleep for 8 hours minimum every night in order to maximize REM sleep, which will maximize your testosterone production. And this is the first step of unlocking superhuman focus in every area of your life. But people like David Goggins all do this one thing in their sleep that most people ignore, and it allows them to not only feel good and sleep good for one night every now and then, but get perfect sleep and wake up feeling insanely productive every single day. It's called the 90% sleep schedule. Have you ever woken up after sleeping for 8 to 9 hours and still feel foggy or tired? You go through your day not being able to give 100% effort into anything productive, and then you fall back into bad habits like watching Netflix or binge eating. It doesn't matter if you're in bed for 9 hours. What matters the most is that you find a sleep schedule you're able to stick to for 90% of the time. This is particularly important because it's the main thing your brain needs in order to sync something called your circadian clock. It's a clock inside your brain that regulates your sleep and wake cycle. But most importantly, it directly affects your sleep quality, how much REM sleep you'll be able to get throughout the night, but also how energized you'll wake up in the morning. Forget about waking up at 5 a.m. or going to bed at 5 p.m. All you need to do is find a sleep schedule that allows you to A, be in bed for 9 hours, and B, stick to it for at least 90% of the time. And the reason I say 90% of the time is because it takes around 2 to 3 days in a row for your brain to connect the dots and change your circadian rhythm, which will cause a jet lag effect and confuse your body's natural clock. And as a result, even though you're getting the right amount of time in bed, you still wake up feeling foggy and tired. So if you implement the 90% sleep schedule, what will happen is that you're going to be able to wake up feeling sharp and energized every day. But this all doesn't matter unless you turn your bedroom into a sleep sanctuary. Imagine you go to bed and you're able to fall asleep instantly and wake up feeling refreshed and energized. This is what the sleep sanctuary will do. Here's how to build one. The main criteria your bedroom should meet in order to turn it into a sleep sanctuary are: the temperature should be between 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. It should be pitch dark, it should be completely silent, and it should only be used for sleep and romance, nothing else. When these criteria are met, it allows your brain to enter into REM sleep more efficiently and without problems, which allows your body to, first of all, recover properly, and second of all, produce more testosterone. Because the more REM sleep you get, the more testosterone you're gonna get. And simply by the nature of REM sleep, it's really hard for your body to enter REM sleep unless your bedroom is like a sleep sanctuary. You see, while sleep is important for testosterone production, there's a lot more you need to give your body in order to be able to work like the top 1% of entrepreneurs. And most people are doing it completely wrong. What I'm talking about is implementing something called full-scale exercise. I want you to close your eyes and picture what you think high testosterone looks like. Probably a muscular man in the gym, bench pressing and eating raw liver. Most people think that all you need to do to get high testosterone is go to the gym and lift weights or generally train like a bodybuilder. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Even if you have high testosterone levels by sleeping good, if your cardio baseline is low, like most people, your testosterone will not do as much work. You see, in order for testosterone to make you feel its effects, it first has to travel through your bloodstream and go somewhere named the androgen receptors, which essentially is a parking slot testosterone goes to in order to give you the benefits of drive, confidence, mental clarity, and focus. Now, when you have a high baseline of cardiovascular fitness, aka a strong heart, it's then more efficient at sending blood quicker and more effectively, which means that even with the same testosterone levels, you feel like you just hit puberty again. So the baseline protocol to optimize your cardiovascular fitness is doing 3 hours of zone 2 cardio a week and 1 session of VO2 max training a week. A bit more context on zone 2 and VO2 max and what they are. Zone 2 cardio is the form of cardio that you're able to kind of maintain a conversation, but if you go a bit harder than that, you're not able to maintain a conversation. So this is zone 2 cardio, 3 hours a week, and VO2 max training is 4 minutes of all-out effort, 100%, ideally on a stationary bike, and then followed by 4 minutes of rest by 4 rounds. You repeat that 4 times, and this is the VO2 max training protocol. We are talking about the full-scale exercise protocol, which means that it doesn't only matter for you to only do cardio, because again, you won't be able to max out your testosterone levels. You also need to do the Greek God exercise protocol, which will allow you to have as much muscle and strength as possible, automatically increase your testosterone levels, so you can not only feel driven, energized, and focused, but make hard work look like child's play. And if you follow it properly, its main side effect is that it's going to help you build a Greek God physique. But that's not our main focus because it comes like a side effect. What it will mostly help you do is increase the production of testosterone directly. It will give you a crazy mood enhancing boost. And this happens because quite literally every time you train, there's a chemical cocktail of things like BDNF, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, dopamine, and adrenaline that gets produced every time you train. But it will also help you build more discipline and more work ethic because it trains one area of your brain, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, which is again quite literally responsible for discipline and work ethic. So in simple words, it is a strategic exercise protocol that ranges between a 3-day full body split to a 4-day upper lower split to a 5-day hybrid split. If you take a scale from 1 to 10, 1 is a complete beginner, you just started working out, no muscle at all, and number 10 is you placed number 1 in your national bodybuilding competition with 12 years of solid exercise and very high amounts of strength. Now, if you rank yourself anywhere below 4 on the scale, the best program is going to be a 3-day-a-week full body split, mainly composed by compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, step-ups, pull-ups, OHP, dumbbell press, etc. If you rank anywhere between 4 to 6 in the scale, then your best program should be a 4-day-a-week upper lower split, again with the main emphasis being on compound movements like form of squats, deadlifts, lunges, overhead presses, dips, dumbbell presses, but also a bit more of accessory movements. And then if you rank anything above 6 on the scale, which is a bit rare, then the 5-day-a-week hybrid program would be ideal for you. For example, I personally rank about 6.5 to maybe 7, and what I do currently is legs, upper body, mainly push exercises, and then the next day I mix a bit of upper and lower in a day, in which I only do pull exercises. So for example, back, biceps, and hamstrings. But again, for most of you, a 3-day full body split or a 4-day-a-week upper lower split, depending on where you rank in the 1 to 10 scale, would be ideal. Now, there is a specific way of doing your exercises within the Greek God exercise protocol that will double your testosterone production. It's a specific protocol elite athletes who want to maximize their performance by maximizing their testosterone levels use. And if you only do it a few times a month, it can literally skyrocket the amount of testosterone increase you can achieve from your training. I call it testosterone-targeted training. Have you ever woken up feeling like you can conquer the world? This is how you're gonna feel after completing this protocol. I've gone from unlocking the state once every few months to unlocking it multiple times a week to almost every single day, which allows me to get so much more work done that I can get a month-long project done in 2 days. Now, normally in your training, you want to follow a rep range between 8 to 15 reps, depending on the exercises. But research has actually shown that when you implement strength training protocols, like heavy squats for 6 to 10 sets of 6 to 10 reps, it has a significant effect on your testosterone levels. It's like a training hack that you can implement a couple of days a week to increase your testosterone production, and ideally you want to do this at least once a week for your main movements like your squats. You're not sleeping like the 1%, you're training like the 1%. That means that your testosterone levels are going to be like the top 1%, right? But this is where most people fail. Because let's be honest, training is fun and easy. Sleeping correctly is something that you'll easily get used to, but this one thing is what differentiates the people that might get a benefit from this protocol, people that will truly unlock superhuman performance and make hard work look easy. And it's also what all the people at the top of every industry, like Jeff Bezos, Jack Dorsey, Alex Becker, Sam Ovens, Alex Hormozi, they all focus a lot of their efforts into this. It's the testosterone boosting ingredients. There are specific ingredients you can include in your nutrition that will act like you're literally on illegal substances. But each person requires different amounts and different ingredients in order to see results. This is where testing comes into play. In order to see exactly which are the foods you need to avoid, which are the foods you should eat, and what ingredients to have more of, you need to find your testosterone baseline. And the way you do that is by using specific tests that most doctors will not give you unless you have a serious problem or ED. But they're actually fundamental to you to be able to maximize your T levels naturally and effectively. You need to first of all do an endocrine status panel, which will show you things like your total testosterone, free testosterone, cortisol, DHT, SHBG, FSH, and LH. How much total testosterone you have is not relevant. You want to see how much testosterone your body is able to actually use. So you do the test and you get a result. What you do with the result is what's most important. Because yes, the information is really important for you to find out where your testosterone baseline is, but how do you structure a protocol based on the results so that you don't have to go to super expensive doctors and take super expensive medication or drugs? When you get the results back, there is a fundamental thing you have to do. You have to implement what I call the natural testosterone support. It is the exact nutrients and ingredients you should eat based on your testosterone baseline. If your SHBG is high, then you need to eat more dates, more carbs, and also not stay under calorie deficit or a diet for a long time. If your estradiol levels are too high, it means that you have too much of an enzyme called aromatase, which is responsible for turning testosterone into estrogen. What you should do if your estradiol is high is eat more raw honey, don't drink alcohol, and lose excess body fat. If your prolactin is high, then simply focus on not ejaculating. But if your total testosterone is low, then eat more onions, ginger, cocoa, raw milk, and eggs. As you see, I didn't talk about a lot of foods here. It's because the food that have the highest ROI in terms of testosterone levels are not that many. But that's why we'll focus on getting the ingredients that are missing from supplements. If you have high SHBG, consider supplementing with things like Tongat Ali and boron. If you have low LH, consider supplementing with Fedoja agrestis, Cistange, Acarcara, and Shilajit. If you have low DHT, you can take Butea superba, magnesium, and tribulus. And here is where all the problems begin. Imagine doing everything you possibly can to increase your testosterone levels, but you still can't. This happens because you are exposed to silent testosterone killers daily just by living your normal everyday life. This can be a serious problem because while you might be doing all the good things to improve your testosterone, you can still deal with brain fog, low energy, fatigue, and symptoms of low testosterone without even knowing the reason why. There are silent testosterone killers hidden hidden in your deodorant, water bottle, kitchenware, sunscreen, cologne, shaving cream, shampoo, even in your food. Here are the top most common silent testosterone killers to avoid if you truly want to maximize testosterone levels so that you can make hard work seem like you're playing a game. Avoid plastic. Do not use any plastic Tupperware, plates, cutting boards, cutlery, water bottles, and anything that contains BPA, as it will lower your testosterone levels. Just simply replace every cutting board, plate, Tupperware, and container in your kitchen to glass, wood, and stainless steel or cast iron pans to cook in. Avoid tap water and non-organic fruits and vegetables because they contain pesticides, which will also inhibit your androgen receptors and lower your testosterone levels. Not alcohol, because it increases estrogen production, it increases cortisol levels, SHBG, and it also kills your REM sleep. Avoid wearing polyester clothes and replace them with things like wool, linen, or cotton clothes that don't have plastics that interfere with your endocrine system. Replace your deodorant, which is full of chemicals I can't even pronounce, that kill your testosterone levels, with something like crystal deodorant, which is 100% natural. Replace your body wash with soaps that are based with live fat, tallow fat, or coconut oil fat. Replace your sunscreen that is full of chemicals like fragrance, oxybenzone, or octocrylene, all of which are endocrine disruptors, with a natural tallow-based sunscreen. And lastly, never put your phone inside your pockets, because this damages the cells that are inside your testicles that produce testosterone, that are called the Leydig cells. Instead, just hold it in your hands or put it in your bag. And once you cut all of these things out, you will be able to feel all of the effects of having high testosterone, and you don't have hidden chemicals that are blocking it. As a result, you'll have more energy, more confidence, more mental clarity, and most important of all, you'll be able to work harder than 99% of people. Because testosterone, at the end of the day, is the main hormone responsible for making hard work feel easy and rewarding. But without the ability to control your distractions and willpower, you have a lot of energy and you can work hard, but you can get easily distracted. So you're just a hard-working, distracted person. So what you need is to combine high testosterone with a strong willpower muscle. In simple words, be able to work harder than 99% of people, but also never get distracted and have unbreakable focus. And there's a specific training that I've helped all of my successful clients implement that trains the willpower muscle of your brain for zero distractions and unbreakable focus. So check out this video where I show you what it is and how you can use it to make it impossible for yourself to fail.